$700 billion. Farce. That's right. Is it the politics? Is it McCain? Is it a snafu? Is it an old trick? What is it all about? Are they really trying to get the job done? Or is it really about public perception? All that and more on this week's Romance Seminar. I'm your host, Jay Green. Politics, we've all heard that word before. But what really does the word mean? Is it a verb? Is it a noun? Well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Politics is trying to please the majority most of the time, while giving the illusion, the delusion to the masses that you're helping everyone all the time. That's the hand you have to juggle as a politician. The higher you go up in government, from city organizer or community organizer all the way up to the President of the United States, you have more and more interest groups that are saying they're the majority and you need to help them out. Those people are called lobbyists most times. But again, let's stop right here and ask, who lobbies for the common man? Never thought about that. You got lobbyists for this interest and that interest, but who lobbies for the everyday citizen, coined by Obama, on Main Street? Now we got McCain. McCain talks about he has one moment he's this way and the next moment he's that way, and I won't go into what his ideas are because I'm sure a lot of you out there are McCain supporters. But I will say this. He said he was a maverick. Is that politics? Or is that something he's really doing? Let's be the judge of it. Think about it. A maverick is going against his own party because he doesn't feel his own party is on the right page of history anymore. It's time to make history, McCain. Now you're a maverick. Why don't you just split off from the Republican Party? If you're so against what they do, run as an independent candidate. If you're such a maverick, wouldn't that even be more like a maverick, if there's such a way of saying that? Now, when Obama went and got Biden and saw that he was getting this whole support, he had that monumentous speech, 60,000 people watched it in the stadium, millions more watched it on the news, NPR was there, all the stations tuned in. You had to do something too. So you pulled a rabbit out of your head. You pulled Governor Palin. Who is Governor Palin? You don't really know. You don't really care. But you knew as a strategy there was a lot of disenfranchised Clinton supporters. Those disenfranchised Clinton supporters, we needed a woman to look up to. Not so you really have a token female that's going to be your claim to fame. So now we go from there to this whole nother step, where she doesn't want to be interviewed. Now she doesn't want to do this. What are you hiding? I mean, I'm sure a McCain supporter would be like, well, what is she hiding? If she's so good, she's so grand, she can go to the United Nations and meet with these leaders, but we can't ask her any questions. What is that all about? Who is she? Now, McCain, you're suspending the campaign. What's that all about? What is your real message here? Is that mass perception, or are you really trying to do something? Because from this side of the coin, it looks like it's mass perception. You're only one senator, and they all have equal powers, one vote. So what are you going to do? You're going to organize a commission? Or do you really have something you can add to it? Because as I heard Obama say, let's stand back and watch what we're going to do. Watch in the sense of, let's make the best decision. Let's not rush in. Fools rush in. One real quote real quick is, why run down to get one cow when you can walk down and get all the cows? Keep that under your thinking cap. But how do you decide which is the job that you need to do? Getting the job done. How do you decide out of all the public interests which one you should do? Well, as a community organizer, you got to think about the churches on your street or the part of your city you're on. Once you get to the point of a mayor or a state senate, you have the districts and things of this nature. Then you move up and you have states, things of this nature. But it's really what pleases and helps most of the people most of the time. You're always going to have a few people, dissidents, that aren't going to be happy about your decision as a public official. But that's the decision why we choose leaders that try to make sure the majority of us are taken care of. So you can petty pat back and forth and say, well, I like the whole idea of the abortion rights from this person, or I like the health care from this person. But really, look at the entire body of issues. Do they get your total feeling across, or are you a stickler for this one particular issue and you're going to vote for the other person just because they don't have this one issue that and the other majority do? So look at the body of work or the body of ideas that the candidate wants to put forward. So when we talk about experience on any level for any public office, it's dancing between public perception, that is mass perception, versus pleasing the majority. Really, you want a person that can please the majority most of the time, that can, instead of doing a mass perception delusional dance, which McCain, I would feel, is doing right now, because he's going back and forth. Are you really getting anything done? Or are you trying to send messages out saying that I can pick a woman, I can pick this person, I can suspend my campaign and seem like a leader, I can do all these great things, but are you really getting anything done? Can you get something done? We still need a president in 40 days to be voted for. There are still other issues you have to focus on to move forward. Now, let's go back to this crisis, $700 billion car. You own a house, you own 2 houses, you own 3 houses, but you're also in the car business. So then you start taking your cars, you go into the auction place, and you get the car notes for all your cars that you own, and you take the pink slips up to the bank and say, I want a loan against all these pink slips. As the people keep paying on the cars, you say, well, the people have reneged, they won't pay on these cars. The bank says, well, you're going to still have to pay us on this stuff, and we want our money back faster, because if you default on the loan, we can't take these assets, try to sell somebody else, because now it's an upside down loan, meaning that the loan, the value of the loan outstanding that is due is worth more than actually that the collateral. So that's upside down loan. But the bank is saying, but we're not going to touch your houses that you own, sir, ma'am, whoever, because now we just want the products for the cars. But in the real world, they would attack everything you have. Well, why are they not doing that on Wall Street? Think about that. So, is it really scare tactics going on right now? Or is it really something happening that can really mess up the American way of life? I think it's scare tactics. But what's your opinion?